What if, the deeper you go underground, the further you travel through time? What if a simple cave could trap you in a timeline where minutes inside mean centuries outside? Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Screen, where we explore the wildest, most mind-bending movies in just minutes. Today we're diving into Time Trap, a sci-fi adventure from 2017 that takes you on a thrilling journey through space, time, and human survival. It all starts with a missing archaeologist, a mysterious cave, and a group of students who go looking for answers. But what they find is beyond anything they could have imagined. A cave that distorts time itself, a spring that can heal the dead, and a shocking truth that the world outside has moved on by thousands of years. Trapped underground with no way out and time racing against them, can they escape or will they become lost in time forever? Let's break down Time Trap scene by scene. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a recap. Let's dive into Time Trap. The story begins with Professor Hopper, an archaeologist, exploring an abandoned van in the middle of a forest. As he examines the van, he discovers an opening in the ground designed for access. While inspecting the opening, he catches a glimpse of a distant cave in the mountains. Curious, Hopper decides to investigate the cave, taking his dog along with him. Inside the cave, he finds a motionless man. Despite speaking to him, the man does not respond. Hopper then notices the man holding a gun, which frightens him and prompts him to leave the cave immediately. After leaving, Hopper calls his student, Jackie, and informs her that he couldn't find any clues regarding the missing hippies or the supposed Fountain of Youth. Later, he meets Jackie and Taylor and frees them from his investigation. Hopper then returns to the location of the cave. Hopper ties a rope to the opening he initially found and proceeds to the cave again. This time, he finds the motionless man still in the same position. Hopper cautiously enters the cave and, as he ventures deeper, notices a strange invisible, damp barrier. He stops to examine it and eventually crosses it, continuing further into the cave. 2 days later, the narrative shifts to Taylor and Jackie, who are looking for a truck to continue their search for Hopper. Jackie borrows Taylor's phone to call Kara, Taylor's friend, and asks if they could borrow her father's truck. Kara agrees to help, allowing them to proceed with their search for Hopper. Taylor, Jackie, Kara, and Kara's sister, Vives, begin their journey together. Along the way, they connect with Vives' friend, Furby. Eventually, they reach their destination and come across the van Hopper had initially examined. They also inspect the van, during which they discover photographs that reveal Hopper's real interest in the cave. It isn't just about finding the missing hippies, but about searching for his parents, who disappeared while seeking the fabled Fountain of Youth. As they investigate, they record everything with a camera they have with them. While inspecting the van, Furby gets tangled in a rope and falls. Curious about where the rope leads, the group decides to follow it and enters the cave. They trace the rope further into the cave and eventually come across a precipice. Determined to investigate, they decide to climb down to explore the bottom of the precipice. However, Furby stays behind while the rest descend. Before leaving, Taylor gives Furby a walkie-talkie and asks him to call if anything happens. As Taylor and Kara make their way deeper into the cave, they encounter an invisible barrier, similar to what Hopper had discovered earlier. The narrative then shifts back to Hopper, who is shown re-entering the cave. This time, as he crosses the barrier and ventures further, he notices that the previously motionless man is now moving. Suddenly, an unsettling sound from within the cave terrifies Hopper, prompting him to flee. When he exits the cave, he realizes it is now nighttime. Hopper returns to the truck he arrived in, only to find it covered entirely in leaves and branches. He attempts to start the truck, but it doesn't work. With no other choice, he continues walking deeper into the forest. As Hopper moves along, he meets the truck that Taylor and the team arrived at. Even then, the leaves and branches has grown on that truck, and when Hopper inspects the truck, he finds that Taylor and Jackie have come from that truck. Convinced they might have entered the cave, Hopper decides to return to the cave to search for them. The scene shifts back to Taylor and the group at the bottom of the precipice. While they explore the area, a strange, unsettling sound echoes through the cave, causing them to panic. They decide to climb back up, and Jackie starts ascending the rope first. However, as she climbs, the rope snaps, and she falls to the ground. Taylor tries to catch her, but ends up injuring his arm in the process. When Taylor checks the remaining rope, he finds it has also been cut, making him suspect that Furby was responsible. Frustrated, he angrily scolds Furby through the walkie-talkie, Suddenly, someone speaks to Taylor through the walkie-talkie, asking for help. When Taylor demands to know who it is, the voice responds that it's Furby. However, the voice sounds different from Furby's, leading the group to doubt the claim. Since Jackie has a broken leg and cannot walk, the rest of the group, Taylor, Kara, and Vives, decide to follow the direction of the mysterious sound. As they venture further, they discover an opening in the cave that reveals an outdoor area. Kara examines the site and notices a broken rope dangling above. Looking down, she sees Furby's lifeless body at the bottom of the drop. Horrified, the group checks Furby's camera and watches the footage. They are shocked to realize that while they had only spent a few minutes in the cave, days had passed outside. Kara volunteers to leave the cave to investigate further. Despite the difficulty and lack of equipment, she manages to climb out. Once outside, she finds herself in a strange, desolate area devoid of greenery, where even breathing feels difficult. As she explores, she spots what appears to be an alien-like space station in the distance. Terrified, Kara quickly returns to the cave and informs the others about what she saw. Initially, they don't believe her, so she shows them the footage on her camera. Taylor then shares his camera's recordings as well, and the group realizes that while only a few seconds passed inside the cave, Kara had spent several minutes outside. Trying to make sense of what's happening, Taylor explains to the group that the ropes weren't cut by anyone but had likely snapped due to prolonged wear and tear. He also theorizes that the transitions between light and darkness in this place signify the passing of an entire day. Later, the group watches the footage recorded by Furby again. They discover that Furby didn't die from the fall. Instead, he was attacked and killed by someone within the cave. They also realize that the cave's transitions between light and darkness don't just represent a day but an entire year passing. Determined to explore further, Kara begins climbing back out of the cave. However, as she ascends, a strange device suddenly descends into the cave from above. The device extends a ladder, which Kara uses to climb down instead. Following her descent, a giant climbs down the ladder into the cave. As this giant enters, a hippie inside the cave attempts to attack him, but the giant quickly overpowers the hippie. The group, including Taylor, tries to flee, but the giant chases after them. While running, they stumble into an area illuminated by lanterns, where they make a shocking discovery: Hopper's parents and several other hippies residing in this place. As the group of hippies approaches to attack, Taylor fights them off while the other three manage to escape and hide. During the scuffle, Taylor is overpowered, and the hippies move on to search for Kara and the others. Meanwhile, Kara ventures out from her hiding spot to look for Taylor, only to find him lying lifeless. Devastated, she breaks down in tears. While Kara grieves, the giant comes that place. He examines the water from a spring nearby and then picks up Taylor's lifeless body, throwing it into the spring. Miraculously, Taylor comes back to life. Just as this happens, the hippies return to attack again. The giant begins fighting them off, but accidentally loses the helmet he was wearing, causing him to struggle for air. Gasping and on the verge of death, he explains to Taylor and the others that humanity abandoned Earth long ago, building a space station to survive. Before succumbing, he reveals that time flows differently in the cave, and thousands of years have passed outside while they were inside. It becomes clear that the giant is a human from the future. As the group processes this revelation, they debate their next steps. While discussing, Taylor finds Hopper's bag, leading him to believe Hopper is still alive. He grabs a nearby gun and sets out to find him. Deep within the cave, Taylor finds Hopper gravely injured. However, they are soon pursued by another group of hippies. Hopper takes the gun from Taylor, tells him to flee, and promises to hold off the attackers. Reluctantly, Taylor escapes. Taylor returns to the spring and places Furby's body into the spring's water. By this time, Jackie has also healed her broken leg by using spring's water. Meanwhile, Hopper, now out of bullets, is overtaken by the hippies, who head straight for the group's location. Realizing they have no options, Taylor and the others flee the scene, taking the device left behind by Future Man to build a ladder. They hurry to the area where Kara initially exited the cave and activate the ladder, climbing out one by one. As they ascend, the hippies arrive, closing in on them. As Kara climbs up the ladder first, she notices that the exit from the cave is now submerged by water. Curious, she dips her hand into the water, but suddenly a strange hand emerges and grabs her, attempting to pull her upwards. Taylor, seeing this, quickly grabs Kara to stop her from being taken. However, at that very moment, one of the hippies below presses the button to deactivate the ladder. As a result, the ladder shuts down, and Kara is pulled up through the water while the remaining 3 falling to the ground. As the 3 falling to the ground, 3 cables emerge from the water, grabbing each of them one by one and pulling them out of the cave. Once they are outside, additional cables descend back into the cave to rescue Furby and Hopper. Later, Furby and Hopper awaken inside a futuristic space station. As Hopper regains consciousness, Taylor approaches him and says, "There's a lot I need to tell you." The movie ends with this moment, leaving the audience with a thought-provoking conclusion revolving around the mysteries of time and the strange events that unfolded. And that's the story. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next movie breakdown. Got a favorite film you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one on Real Screen.